Good morning and welcome to the show, your show Perspectives. Remember, if it is happening or it has happened or it's been talked about, we bring you the gist right here on the show. Yes, a lot of things happened in the past 1 week, and then we'll be trying to look at some of the things that happened in the news on social media. Sometimes we have a lot of what we call buzzwords. Yes, we'll look at a little bit of some of these things. My name is Habib Abdul, and I'm your host today. Yes, we say Happy Workers' Day. Today is 1st of May, a day set aside to celebrate workers. Every legit hustler, let me put it like that, everybody, formal, informal, skilled, semi-skilled, whatever you do, whatever you are doing that is legit, that is giving you income or that you're using to make ends meet. We celebrate you today. We celebrate everybody putting in a lot of hard work. It is not always easy, but then we thank God. Some are employed, some are unemployed, some are self-employed, some are entrepreneurs. Whatever you do, anything at all you do, we celebrate you today because these are the things that make the world as it is today, that make every nation in the world where we are today, and that's what's sustaining everybody. There are a lot of dependents. There are a lot of people that depend on people that work. So happy Workers' Day to every worker out there. Yes, talking about work, labor, dignity in labor, and all that. I'll pick it up from there in the labor industry. Our first. The first day of the week, as it were, started from just the Labor Ministry of Labor and Employment. I remember 3 weeks back, we talked about the Minister of Labor and Employment with the doctors on strike, threatening to impose or implement, as it were, a no work, no pay situation. Now it is the Minister of State, Labor and Employment in the news. This time around, it is a gbas, and he's having this gbas with one of the pioneers of the current hip hop or Afrobeat movement that we have, that is currently getting world attention in Nigeria. And I'm talking about Idris Abdul Karim, formerly of the Remedies, the defunct group Remedies. Yes, Idris released a song a couple of years back titled Jaga Jaga, talking about the state of the nation. And yes, that song was a big hit. Looking at the state of the nation again, it decided to do a Jaga Jaga Reloaded. It decided to do a video. In the first song, it mentioned the now Minister of State of Labor and Employment, Festus Keyamo. He was incarcerated at that time, and he called out the government to release Festus Keyamo. In the Jaga Jaga Reloaded now, he came out to say, where is Keyamo now? According to him, he's now chopping with the Kaba. Apparently, this didn't go down well with the Minister of State. And he came to Twitter and he took it to the streets, fight dirty. And he came out to say that it has actually begged him for money, begged him for favors. He made a request that he wanted to do a campaign song for the president, for Muhammadu Buhari, Assad then, but he found inconsistencies in his story, so he ghosted him in his language. Because he didn't play to his tune, he now decided to pitch tents with the opposition, and everything the government does, he condemns. That's why he's fighting, he's in the opposition, he's fighting the government now. And he didn't just stop there, he went as far as, sending receipts, as it were, pushing out SMS messages that they shared, conversations that they shared, putting it right there on social media, right there on Twitter. Eventually, Twitter had to pull down those tweets because they are actually in violation of Twitter rules. That's what happened. That's the first buzz that happened between the Minister of State of Labor and Employment and Idris Abdul Karim. A similar thing is playing out between the presidential senior assistant to the president on media and publicity, that's Garba Shehu, and Reverend Father Mbaka, saying he came for contract when they didn't give you. Oh, come on. How long are we going to have things like this? Okay, I'll quickly move on. Yes, I think I should give an update on the story that we started last week. We started with the story of the Babaja Saga, Olanrewaju Omiyinka, who has been accused of defiling a minor. He is already in custody. During the week, it came out that a popular comedian, Princess, is actually the foster mother of the child in question. And Princess actually came to the public to narrate what happened. It is not far from what we narrated before, right? It's exactly as we narrated it, right? The only difference is that Princess actually said the child had told her and her sister that Babaja had defiled her 7 years ago, and within that period, Babaja has not, Babaja, that's Omiyinka Olanrewaju, has not visited her. So they had to put a CCTV camera to see if he would fall prey, and he fell prey. After 7 years, he came back and, well, he still had the same urge to do. No, so while now other things developed within the week, there were unconfirmed reports that there were plans to release him on bail on technicalities, that the courts are on strike, so they can't hold him for so long. It is not an actual act, and so many. Those are unconfirmed reports basically. But the Princess did not wait for that. They had to go to the Panti, the state CID, to protest, to stage a protest, and they went there along with some other actors. Some other actors, they went there to stage a protest and say their grievances against him being released, that he shouldn't be released. And they got assurances that, at least not yet, he will not be released. In the mix of all this, there was another back and forth altercations between actors, that's the Nollywood actors, in the Yoruba the Yoruba constituency, as it were. Yomi Fabi also in the movie industry apparently did a write-up which was perceived as being in support of Baba Ijesha. This didn't go down well with a lot of people, and Iyabo Ojo in particular called him out. It was really, war of words. Called him out. Princess too called. It also involved Foluke Daramola at some point. Davido names. They were just name dropping. At the end of the day, yes, Yomi Fabi said he was misinterpreted, misquoted. But the most important thing, this for me are diversions. The most important thing is the case at hand. Justice should be seen to be done. Yes, justice should not be subverted. The law must take its course. So that is the update as it is on Babaja Saga. We'll continue to give you updates as events continue to unfold. Today, we will talk about what concerns all of us, especially in this country. Yes, what is right staring us at the face at the moment now is insecurity. I think that appears to be our number one problem, but it doesn't mean that's the only problem we have. We have so many other problems, but it appears to be dwarfing it. So we will look at some of those other problems. One in particular, I'll leave that till I come back from this very short break. When I come back, we will talk about those things, or that particular thing that concerns all of us, that concerns you and I in Nigeria, that is affecting all of us. Please don't go anywhere. Stay right glued to your TV sets. I'll be right back.
we hear Nigeria go join body with every other country for this world to enter that matter what they call digital broadcasting. This digital broadcasting, the better part those time when we say we dey go outside go the Tonto TV. And not be that one, you go sit down for your comfort now. You go watch better. The TV go clear way. The people with this side go clear way. The sound man go come out well. The channel say go increase the local TV waiting for the Obodo Naija side go come out face where come clear well. My people, Naija, they enter digital.
Nigeria going digital. Nigeria going digital.
Coming to Lagos now.
Yes, welcome back. My name is Abib Abdul, and the show is still Perspectives. Yes, I introduced earlier that we want to talk about something that concerns all of us. And if you observe lately, yes, like a friend advised on Twitter, he says, if you want to buy something now, you feel you need it, and you can afford it, yes, please buy it. Because if you leave it till another time, it could be a week, it could be two, by the time you come back, the price would have changed and would have increased. So why is this happening? It concerns all of us, and especially food items. These are basic things that we need to survive as humans. Prices of goods keep skyrocketing, and then we look at now like this. We go day. What's the way out, really? Just to discuss this, we'll be going into a deep dive segment. I have a financial expert with me in the studio. He is a chartered accountant, a member of the ICANN committee on young accountants. Hope I got that correctly. His name is Akinbumi Akishola. Akinbumi Akishola, he must be a brave man, right? Because Aki, I know in the Yoruba language, you say somebody brave. Now you have it times 2, Aki squared.
Yeah, it's actually 3. Akinbumi Akishola Akinde. Good morning.
Oh, you raised up at 3.
Good morning, everyone. Well, Akinbumi is warrior. Well, so that's from ancestry. Happy Workers' Day to everyone.
Thank you very much. Yes, let's go straight to the crux of the matter. As at March this year, we had a report that the inflation rate rose as high as 18.17%. I'm not sure we've had it that high ever.
Yeah, that's an all-time high, and inflation rate is in 3 phases. That's the headline inflation. We also have the food inflation, and we also have the core inflation. Okay. All of them are at all-time high, and food inflation, if I may say, is even higher than that. It's about 22 point something.
22
yeah,
point
so
something.
Food inflation in particular is even higher, but 18.10 is the headline inflation.
How did you get here?
So many things leads to this. First of all, I'll say inflation, the rate we see is, it's not an immediate thing. It's more like a long-term thing. And how did Nigeria get here? So many things. We got here by not developing our industries. We got here by not making sure our manufacturing industries are functioning. Mm-hmm. You see, what if our manufacturing industries are not functioning? We got here by the situation in the country, the insecurity, and everything links up. You see, for example, if there is insecurity and farmers are not able to go to farm, the few who are able to produce, they would hike the price. It follows the normal course of demand and supply. Also, if you are not producing, you'll be importing, and by the time you import, of course, it will affect the value of naira. And by the time the value of naira is affected, of course, you see what happens is that the price of goods and services would also be affected. Being that Nigeria is an largely import-dependent country, we export just a few things, maybe our oil and other few things. So by the time we don't produce, and we import everything, our naira weakens. When our naira weakens, the cost of production increases. When the cost of production increases, we have inflation. So many things here, and government policies. Yes.
Government policies. Yeah, yes. I'll take it up from there, from the government policy. Why I'm taking it up from there is because we found out that lately, yes, we've had all this as a problem with the country over the time. Yes, that's a given, which we seem not to be taking the right steps to solve. Okay, but you look at it lately, it's been really pronounced. Did anything happen? Did any policies? Is there a policy that seemed to tilt it and made it skyrocket that high? Because especially food, you find that you buy this buy gari at this price now, you go there again, it keeps changing like it's a rule.
One thing experts would agree on about food, especially the cost rise of cost of food, I mentioned it. Two things. One particular is the insecurity. You see, a lot of farmers are afraid to go to the farms now. We know even some people. So, and those who are able to go would produce, and they would have to raise the price. The reason is this: the supply is not enough. There is a natural law of demand and supply for everything in this world. It's simplistic and it's basic. So once that balance is tilted, if the supply is reduced, then the price would go up. Also, if the demand is increased, the prices would go up. So when because of the situation in the country, a lot of people are not able to go to farms. That's given. Or your state, Ondo State, everywhere. So as long as people are not able to go to farm, those who are able to, and those who are able to even go to farm, maybe they spend extra cost in providing security and a whole lot of things. When this happens, transportation. So it's not new, like you said, but maybe it's a little more pronounced at this time.
Yes.
And I think it's an aspect the government should look into to make things better. So as long as that persists, farmers are able to go to farm, you are going to continue to experience that. Another thing, the second thing is the devaluation in naira. As long as naira continues to be devalued, and because we are import based, we import everything. Everybody can do a sample check. Look around your house. How many things are produced in Nigeria? That's the check to know how heavily import dependent we are. It's a simple check. Take a look. Whether there was a time one hotel and the person was trying to woo and say that nothing in this hotel is Nigerian made. He's supposed to be proud of it. Meanwhile, it's something we should reflect on. It costs us over reflection. Yes. So when everything is imported and the value of naira is reduced, of course the cost of production increases, and then how much they give it to you increases. It's simplistic and it's basic.
Basic. Okay, let's look at this value of the naira. I know for certain that we have some currencies that are not doing that fantastic in the exchange rate. Lira, for example, is not all that big when it comes to exchange with the dollar particularly. But theirs is not as bad as ours. Or is it that we are looking at it's always going on the other side? But it's not really as bad as us. But the value of their currency is not something fantastic. So what are they doing differently? Even though the value of our currency is bad, why can't we at least have some basic things? Why does it have to be this bad?
You see, a lot of things determine the standard of living and the situation in a country, not just the value of the currency.
Okay.
One of them, so many things that we can't go into now, but one of them is the national income. That national income is closely related to the national population. And that would lead us to GDP per capita. The GDP is the sum total of all the economic activities in a country. Now divided by the number of people living in that country. The GDP per capita for Nigeria is low, very low. It's not in top 5 in Africa.
When you say GDP, you mean our production?
Yes, the sum total. Okay. Simply put,
so that everybody
to the general public, the sum total of the production in a country. Simple. The sum total of production, all the business activities from what you call from household to the consumer to government. that are for the household, the business, the consumer, the government. So all the sum total of all these activities combined. So when the national income is low, we think we are a rich country in Nigeria, but we are not. When we divide our money per capita, now anything the government earns divided by the number of population, we are around 200 million. We see that we are low. We are not number 5, 6, 7 in Africa, even though we are big as an economy. Countries like Namibia, South Africa, Egypt, Algeria are well ahead of us. So
better.
yes, so that is one hand. The population too is another hand. Then the level of infrastructure, so many things. The national income, then the income disparity. The income disparity in Nigeria is too massive. Elsewhere in Italy, the income disparity is not so much. So everybody hangs within a range. Few are, very few are outside that range. But what we have in Nigeria is high equitable distribution. Some people are very rich, the Dangotes are not very extremely rich. The others, maybe 5%, the others are extremely poor. So those who are very rich who afford that life. But when it comes on the general indices, you see that the standard of living will be low when they average it. So also the level of income distribution, also the infrastructure in place. You see, the Italy you mentioned,
yes,
the infrastructural level is better in terms of road, bridges, and all. Also,
amenities,
and amenities. Yes, the health, because standard of living is a function of the convenience and comfort you're able to enjoy as a citizen. The health sector, even though the currency is not so fantastic, but they have a better health sector where people can go to access the health services. Unlike Nigeria, where over 90% can't even afford basic health services. You don't want to know why people die in Nigeria for things as basic as you may want to know it. Also, the level of insecurity. The Italy you mentioned, they don't have the level of insecurity as some of the poorer countries like Nigeria, Pakistan, India. So they don't have it. So even though the value, do you understand? So it's not high, but and then government policies, you see that there are a lot of things. So it's not just about the value of the currency, it's also about the entirety, the government, the policy, the income, the size of the economy, the size of the population. It's a whole lot of things. Size of the family too.
And they produce what they consume.
And they produce what they consume.
Don't produce
we don't produce. Do you understand? We don't
import.
produce. Yes, we import.
Okay, so
we are import department. So though they don't have that value, but they produce for their economy. Even though many economies are not seeking their currency, but they produce the economy. And let me also mention this: value, number of family size also affects standard of living. Check the countries with high standard of living; they have large family sizes, including Nigeria, China, Pakistan. Those places they have small family sizes: husband, wife, 2 children. So it's
a whole lot of factors.
It's a complex mix. It's a complex mix.
Okay. It's getting clearer. We're getting there. Okay, I need to quickly touch on this. Something happened yesterday, right? The director, the board of director in one of the premier bank in Nigeria, that's First Bank. A lot of people have accounts in that bank. CBN dissolved that board, right? Should we panic?
No, we should not panic. But let me quickly say this: First Bank is strategic to Nigeria.
Yes.
31 million customers. By 200 million, that's 15% of population. For every 100 Nigerians, 15 have accounts with First Bank. That's how strategic it is, yes. And they control around 22% of all, and there are over 20 banks, of all the interbank transactions.
Okay.
22%, 1/5. So First Bank is strategic. But I would say, so CBN has to come in, but I would say we should not come in. We should not panic.
Yeah.
Since 2004, since the era of Soludo, all thanks be to him, a lot of things have been implemented in CBN that would hardly make a bank to go under. That is why CBN is rising to its duty to forestall anything that could happen. Let the populace know that CBN didn't wake up to take this decision.
Okay.
First Bank has been on forbearance, and forbearance is a grammar stability. CBN has been assisting, has been monitoring.
First Bank has been shaky.
Yes, since 2016. Let's put it in that manner. It's been shaky since 2016. And CBN has been, they've taken more than a glance. They've been monitoring First Bank. And in CBN's opinion, they felt like let's rise in so that the Savannah Bank of this Nigeria, the Societe Generale, will not happen. So there's nothing to be panicked about. That is why CBN is there, and that's why other regulators like PENCOM and NICOM are also there to monitor what is happening in the industry. So if you own a First Bank account, there's no need to panic. CBN is there. they have done the necessary steps, and I know they will continue to engage. But just know that CBN didn't just wake up. It's an intervention that is necessary.
That is
But if you have your
necessary,
phone
okay.
in First Bank, keep calm, keep cool, nothing is happening. CBN has, in my opinion, has a right capacity to supervise and to manage. CBN has been stabilizing this bank for a
fantastic.
while, and that's because they've had a lot of bad loans, a lot of decisions, and some governance issues. So I give credit to CBN,
Okay.
to the populace. Don't panic. CBN is up to the task.
Okay, so you had that from the expert. No need to panic. CBN is actually on the right track. So your money is safe. Let's continue your business. It's nothing to panic about. No panic. All right. Still on CBN. Okay. We discussed this on the program about two weeks ago. There was I call it Basbos, right? When there is exchange of accusation, counter accusation, denial, right? The governor of Edo State, yes, it was a battle of Godwins then. The governor of Edo State, Godwin Obaseki.
Godwin Emefiele.
No, Edo State, Obaseki.
That's like Godwin
versus
Emefiele.
fantastic, yes. Now, he came to the public to say, things are so bad that the CBN had to print money to augment the allocation given to the states. Yes, the finance minister denied it, but the CBN governor was reported in a video that says, yes, it is the responsibility of the central bank to print money. So if the government needs assistance, yes, they should. Now, this printing of money, yes, to the ordinary man on the street, print money, give me money, let's spend. How does it affect? What's your take on this? How does this printing of money or no printing of money, how does it affect us? How does it affect the man on the street?
Okay, first of all, I want everybody to appreciate that Governor Obaseki, before becoming a governor, was a veteran investment banker.
Okay.
Let's note that. So he's not a novice in that aspect. So he knows, if he speaks, he knows what he's saying.
He knows the implications.
So yes, he's not just anyone not knowledgeable. He's knowledgeable in that aspect.
Okay.
So I just need to say that first. So yeah, printing of money, it's not exactly. Yes, the CBN is there as lender of last resort to government. But printing of money has to be done carefully. And straight to your question, how does it affect the common man? Printing of money is simple. Money should be a means of exchange, something for value. And when that happens, the economy is stable. The inflation rates and all those indices and all those macroeconomic indices are kept stable. Now, when you alter that balance, or you alter the natural setting where you work, there is an exchange and output, economic activity for money, you alter the balance. And this is what happens to a common man. If that is not done carefully, you continue to weaken the value of your currency. And once you continue to weaken the value of your currency, this inflation we started from will continue to rise. And this is what happens. There are no economic activities. You print money for an activity, the money gets into the hands of a few without any economic activity backed up. So when you throw those people, when they bring that money to the society, because we do not have adequate level of production to support it, they will bring the money to the market and the value will be rising. Do you understand?
Okay.
There is no production to match the money. So the value of goods and services will be rising. And you as a common man, in the end, the 1,000 you used to buy a pint of gari, you will not be able to buy it again. The 1 million naira you are able to use to buy tokumbo, you will not be able to use it again. So the effect on the common, Obaseki is actually speaking for the common man that be careful, and that's what he's clearly saying. Be careful so that you don't weaken the naira. Because typically, once you print money without any economic value, you weaken the naira, you affect the reserve negatively. And once you weaken the naira, the masses are in for it.
Okay.
So it's a battle for the masses, really.
The battle for the masses, and the masses will indeed survive. Thank you very much for honoring us on this program. It's always enlightening when we have you. We really appreciate this, and I'm sure everybody has learned one or two things. I'll be calling it a wrap right now. I'm sorry, I won't have time to go to social media, but we've done a lot on social media in the news. But at this juncture, I'd like to call it a wrap. Our time is really fast spent. Till I see you again, same station, same time next week. My name remains Habib Abdul. Bye-bye.
Thank you.